Grade 9s, what we are going to do is we're going to do the reactions of metals with oxygen, and so my first thing is going to be to fill up these gas jars with oxygen. Now the way that we do it is we use a method called the downward displacement of water. So what we do is we fill up a gas jar with water, we put it on the top of this little thing that's called a beehive, and then what we do is we put this into here. You'll see that what is happening is the oxygen is bubbling up, which means that the water's being displaced down. When that is full, then what I can do is put a cover slip over the end of it. And now what I've got is oxygen in there. This little thing is called a beehive because it's got the little hole at the bottom and the hole at the top, so that when the oxygen goes in at the bottom, it's got a little hole for it to bubble out the top. Right, we'll just keep on doing that until we've got enough gas jars. Right, so the next part of the experiment is going to be to react the metals with oxygen. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this piece of apparatus here, which is called the deflagrating spoon. You'll see that it looks like a spoon. And what we do is we take the metal, now in this case it's magnesium, and magnesium, if you look at it carefully, it is like a greyish colour. It's a metal, it's a silvery grey. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the spoon. Now I'm going to wrap it around the spoon because actually it obviously won't really sit so nicely on the spoon itself. And then I'm going to heat it, and as soon as it's burning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the oxygen. So you need to watch carefully so that you can write down what you see. Right, you'll see it starts burning. We're going to put it into the oxygen, and there we go. And you obviously saw that it burns very nicely in the oxygen, and what you'll see is that when it's finished, if you look carefully on that little spoon, you'll see that it makes like a white powder. Right, I'm going to take that white powder and I'm just going to knock it off so that it goes into the jar and close the jar up for a little bit. Right, so that is magnesium. Then the next one I'm going to do is iron. Right, now iron, we use steel wool. Steel wool is actually just iron. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of iron, which again is like a silvery grey colour. Metals are a silvery grey colour. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that on the spoon, heat it up, and then put it into the jar of oxygen. So there it goes, heating it up, put it into the oxygen, and what we see is the iron burning. And you'll see that it burns with like this sparkle. That is the iron burning in the oxygen. And obviously when iron burns in oxygen, it makes iron oxide. And when that is finished, you'll see what's left on the spoon is like a black solid, which again what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock that into, it's very hot obviously, it's been burning, so I don't want to just touch it with my hand, put it in there and close it up. Alright. Now when you've burnt sparklers before, the fireworks sparklers, then you will know that it makes sparkles, and now you know why it makes sparkles, because actually what is on that cracker is, or what is on the fireworks is just tiny little pieces of iron that are burning and making the sparkles. I've got one more metal, I might as well just do one more metal. The next one that I'm going to do is copper. So here we've got a little bit of copper, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some copper and we're going to put it onto the deflagrating spoon. Copper doesn't really burn so well, that's why I kind of wasn't going to do it, but here it is, so let's do it. So if I burn the copper and you put it in the oxygen, I'm not sure if you're going to see this very well, but I'm going to try anyway. If we put it in the oxygen, is there anything that we see? Well, it is burning a little bit. Okay, not so well. I think the answers are in your textbook, so you'll just have to look in your textbook and see what it is that it's doing. What I'm going to do when I'm finished is I'm going to take that, and again I'm going to just put a lid over that, cover slip over that, and that was the copper. So there are 3 metals that we've done. Right, we're going to come back to them and we're not quite finished. Then the next ones that we're going to do are the non-metals. So the first non-metal that I've got here is sulfur. So I'm going to take a bit of sulfur and I'm going to put it on the deflagrated spoon. Now when sulfur burns in oxygen, it makes sulfur dioxide. And sulfur dioxide is actually, it's a noxious gas, it's poisonous, you don't want to breathe it in. So I'm going to do this relatively quickly because I don't want to breathe in the sulfur dioxide. Okay, so I'm going to move this across a bit. And I'm going to burn the sulfur, which is a yellow color. When you put it into oxygen, you'll see it goes, we call violet. The color of the flame is violet. It's actually made a little quarter. But anyway, we'll put that over there. You'll see it's still burning. It's making like a white gas. Right, when it's finished, I'm going to cover it up and quickly take this away. Keep on breathing that. Right, and that is sulfur. And then the last one I'm going to do is carbon. Basically like little pieces of charcoal. Now you kind of know what this is going to do already because you have a fire at home, make a braai, you put charcoal on the fire, so it's really the same kind of thing. Okay, here we go. Let's bring this across. Charcoal, carbon is black to start off with. When you heat it up, it kind of starts glowing orange. Those kinds of things you would know because you've seen that before. Right, we're going to try and put it in now and see what happens. You can see what's happened there. It's not really fitting on very nicely, but that's quite hot, so let's just do this. Okay, you can see it's glowing with a red colour. It's finished burning. We'll just put a cover slip on it again. Right, I'm going to take it out. Okay, so there's one last little thing we need to do here, and that is carbon. So, magnesium, when it burns in oxygen, forms what is called magnesium oxide. Iron, when it burns in oxygen, makes iron oxide. Copper, when it burns in oxygen, makes copper oxide. It's quite obvious when you burn a metal in oxygen, what it's always going to make is the metal oxide. So what we want to do now is we want to take a little bit of stuff that was made, the magnesium oxide, and we want to add in an indicator. Now an indicator is a substance that will tell us whether what we've got here is an acid or a base. So if I put a few drops of indicator in, what you should see is it goes like a purpley colour, which tells me that what is being made here is a base. Alright, so let's look at the next one. This was iron, so if I take a bit of iron oxide and I mix it with water and I put a few drops of indicator in, what should happen is it goes like a greeny colour, alright, which tells me that it's kind of neutral. And this one is the copper, and let's see what happens. Now this one didn't really burn very well, so I'm not sure whether it's going to do very much, but we'll try. Okay, it's going red. Now it actually shouldn't go red, so I'm going to say that there's a problem with that one, and your teacher can actually explain to you what's supposed to happen with all the metals, because all the metals should do more or less the same thing. So you ask your teacher to explain that to you when you are in class. Right, so that was the metals, and now what we're doing is we're looking at the non-metals. Now a non-metal is the opposite of a metal. So when sulfur burns in oxygen and it makes sulfur dioxide. And when carbon burns in oxygen and it makes carbon dioxide. If I test what is happening now, what I should find is that this one shouldn't go the purple color, but this should go the red color for an indicator, and the red color indicates that it is an acid. So this is acidic. And what should happen is that the non-metals should make acids, and okay, there we go, it's like a yellow color. So you get the 7 colors of the rainbow, so it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The blue, indigo, violet is for the metals, and what they are telling me is that they are basic or alkaline, and the red, orange, yellow is to tell me that they are acids. Right, so these are the experiments that explain the first few pages of your textbook. Right, it's a visual representation of the theory that's in your book, so you just need to make sure that you learn that theory, and your teachers will go through